It's a thought buffet. But this is one that's not going to be like the others. Now, all that over-excessive here in the thought buffet blah 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 crap really doesn't master the emotion that could be felt by the government shutdown that just occurred. And why I say that is because that introduction, that style, is actually showcasing too much care. It's showcasing too much actual care and desire for what this government shutdown has actually perpetuated within American society and American culture. If anything, the government shutdown has perpetuated apathy. It's perpetuated a real emotional impact that is similar to, yeah, we saw that coming. There's no surprise. This is not something that has a twist ending. Now, of course, this is something that's been reported for quite some time that it was a possibility, and the fact that it actually happened, of course, makes it newsworthy, but in reality, it's something that has happened many, many times throughout the past 40 years, so this is nothing new. Most government shutdowns last a total of, on average, of about 7 days, with most lasting between 1 and 5, whereas a couple of them have been able to actually sustain themselves long enough to reach the 20-day mark. There's never been a government shutdown that's lasted longer than 30 days or longer than a month, and there has never been a government shutdown that has really perpetuated large-scale economic disaster. For example, the last government shutdown took place in 1996. In 1996, the boom of the 90s was in full effect, which means that while the economy took a slight minor hit, for the most part, it was fine. Now, here in 2013, there might be a little bit of a difference as compared to 1996, because there is a huge difference in the American culture. Let's consider what's happened in the past 17 years. Well, in the past 17 years, we've nearly impeached a president. We've gone to war twice. One was very unjust. The other one was as retaliation for what happened on our soil, which was, of course, 9/11. We've elected the very first black president, and it seems as though at this particular moment, tensions between the two parties in the two-party system that we have in America are at an all-time high. In fact, that's the whole reason why this shutdown occurred. It was centered around Obamacare. It was centered around what House Republicans and Senate Democrats could not achieve, could not get done, and thusly, the government has run out of money, supposedly. And thusly, this shutdown had to occur because they were at the perpetual chess version, politically, of stalemate. Apathy, though, is the reason why we are here. Why is it that we are apathetic about this? Well, it's very simple, actually. It's not anything all of that hard to figure out. For 70 to 80% of Joe Americans out there, or Joette Americans out there, this is not something that's going to affect you in the slightest. Sure, maybe economically speaking, it may get rough a little bit down the line if this were to be a shutdown that took place and remained in constant practice for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 800,000 government employees were sent home. That's kind of bad. But for Joe and Joette American, 80% to 90% of them are not going to be affected by this at all unless they want a loan, whether it be for a car or for a house or something like that. If they want their gun permit, that way they can shoot their guns. If they want a passport to get out of the country, because fuck this one. And that's about it. Banking functions that are basic, withdrawals, deposits, blah, 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 paychecks, stuff like that. It's not like you're not going to get paid because the government shut down. Those are all still going to work. The mail carriers will still deliver your mail, so you're still going to get that lovely junk mail. And also, the armed forces are still protecting us. God love them. So that's why there's apathy. That's exactly why there's apathy, because for a majority of Americans, this is not something that affects them at all. It's something that is an overbotched news item because basically the artifacts of government, the two different branches of government, the House of Representatives and the Senate, cannot agree on proposals in order to really budget this country's money based around Obamacare, using Obamacare once again as an excuse. I am sick and tired of that, but it's something where in this case it's actually true, considering most of what has caused this has been centered around funding. It has been centered around proposed amendments in order to kind of push Obamacare back a year, either that or do this or that to it as far as the funding or the implementation is concerned. It's been a lot of the Senate Democrats balking at this and basically saying, no, we're not going to alter this. This is not something that we're going to back down on. We're not going to be walking through with our tail between our legs. We're going to fight for this, and you're not going to be able to threaten us with a shutdown because, fuck it, we'll just shut down. Yeah. So that's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, I know, and it just seems like this is a newsworthy thing, and the funny thing about this is that I was wrong about something. I'm going to admit where I am wrong, and this is something that if you follow me on Facebook, you know that I mentioned. I really thought that a lot of people were going to take the route that most dumbass Americans take and just blame the president. I really thought that that was going to be the case. I really thought that a healthy majority were going to be saying, F Obama, F this, F that, it's because he's black, it's because he's a Democrat, it's because this, where's the change, blah, 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 blah. But no, in most polls that I have read, and most polls that I have seen, there is a healthy majority to the tune of nearly 50% that are blaming the House of Representative Republicans and the Tea Party for this. I did not see that coming whatsoever. So the same people that basically made it their quest in order to make Obama a one-term president, that basically put all of their chips in the basket of Mitt Romney, which I don't see how that ever made sense, but then again, I'm one lowly man, also have apparently infuriated the nation whenever it comes to this whole idea, because even though Obamacare does have its flaws, and I exposed one of them in my healthcare video that happened to me personally, Obamacare is still pledging and aiming to help more of them than ever before. So apparently anything that is being seen to as a blockage of that, they're not too happy with that. And House Republicans are aiming to do just that. So a lot of people aren't happy with them apparently. But in reality, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not going to be the type of person that's going to sit here and blame just the House Republicans for this shutdown. Absolutely not. This is something where it takes two to tango. Just like every great relationship that is destroyed, it takes two to tango. Just like with every great decision that occurs between two people or two groups, it takes two to tango, man. This is something where both groups, their inability to really sit down and nail something together and, nail something down that was really going to be mutually beneficial to both sides and really help the American people for once is really just a grandiose flaw, and this is chicken politicking that is just getting way too excessive and over-exorbitant in the past couple of years. In the past couple of years, the two-party system and the two-party politicking that has really been going on, the real party-centric idea where you have to like just one or the other, you can't absorb ideas of both, and if you do, you're a radical, has just gotten to obscene levels. It's gotten to levels where it is literally scary. It's gotten to levels where I don't see why more Americans haven't decided to opt for a different party, a green party, an independent party. Why didn't Ron Paul decide to stay on the independent platform? Because, man, that man would have had a tremendous following, and not just college-age students. This is something where it takes the two to tango, and their inability to knock this out is what caused this. Not just one side, the House Republicans, working diligently while the Senate Democrats were golfing and at home and things like that, and basically just saying no every time they propose something. Well, yeah, they said that they were going to be steadfast about it, and the Republicans decided to continue to plug away at it. And while that's fair and honorable, and you got to give them a little bit of credit, what did the Democrats do? We were being steadfast. It's a lot of pulling. It's a tug of war. The shutdown doesn't really affect you. And it might not be the only one. We're out of money, yes. Our credit limit has definitely been reached or is very, very close. So the next great debate after, everybody goes back to work, finally, will be to increase our credit limit. That's right. Just like you and I, with our credit cards, America has a credit limit. The American economy functions just like a credit card. It's kind of funny, isn't it? That's the next great debate, which could cause another shutdown. And this is something that's been threatened now for the past couple of large crises over the past couple of years. And every time it seems like there's been some 2 minutes to midnight, 2-minute warning deal that has always narrowly avoided a shutdown from happening. Kind of anticlimactic, kind of drawing on the flair for the dramatic. But in reality, now that we see and have seen for about the past 24 hours what a government shutdown really is, was there really a need for all of those dramatics? And finally, why does it seem that the individuals that seem to have all the power and make all of these decisions, the House, the Senate, our government, who are all going to be getting paid during this shutdown, why does it seem that it's the American workers, it's the American individuals, it's us, the lower people, the people that voted them in, that constantly are the ones who are harmed, that are constantly the ones who shoulder the burdens, they're constantly the ones that are left to really shovel the shit of the messes that they make? Something doesn't seem right there. But that's another story and another topic for another day. For now, if you're a government worker that is affected by the shutdown, I guess enjoy your vacation. Give a nice hearty fuck you to those people who told you to go home and not pay you. And for those of you who are like me, just a regular American that is not affected by the shutdown at all, you may now continue with your daily lives. I will not take up any more of your time, except just to say thank you for your time.